Welcome back to the Positive Gains podcast. Today, my special guest, Stephano Coffey, aka Steph's Cookies.
Yes,
By
sir.
chance, you might have seen him on TikTok, walking around Walmart and the different areas, promoting his brand, his cookies. Steph, how are you?
Doing great, man. How you doing, man?
Doing real well, man. Appreciate you being on.
Oh, for sure. Thank you for having me.
So, a little bit of background, man. Whatever you'd like to share, and and going into that afterwards. What is Steph's Cookies?
All right, Steph's Cookies basically essentially, is I shortened my name. My name is Stephano, so I just shortened it. That's where I get Steph from because a lot of people can't pronounce my name for whatever reason or they find it hard. So I saved them some trouble and I just cut it down to Steph. And so that's the name behind it. Then I make them myself. So, you know, the apostrophe S shows the ownership. So, you know, And to give a background as far as where it started, I'll say it kind of started when I was real young. I've been cooking since I was like 8 years old. And I'm in the South, so in Mississippi, if we ain't got nothing else, we have food. You know.
Yeah.
So growing up watching Food Network, and just following following like the older people in my family around the kitchen, my mom, grandma, you know, seeing what they do. And I like sweets, so that's the lane I veered into. And that's kind of the background of the interest into it.
What were you watching on Food Network? Out of curiosity.
Oh man, diners, drive-ins, and dives. That was like that's top five. Uh, Chopped. I don't know if you know about that, but yeah,
Yeah.
Chopped. It was a lady named Giada. I can't remember the name of the show, but I know her. Uh, there's another lady named Ina Garden, and I know the chefs and Emeril Lagasse. Emeril Lagasse probably was
Emerald.
my he probably was my favorite like chef show of all time. Like I don't know why, because too when I was a kid, my name is Italian, so I was like, he's Italian, so for whatever reason, as a kid, seeing that I kind of correlated the two, and that's why I picked him as my favorite chef. And the stuff he cooked looked good, so I used to try to imitate it and emulate it in the kitchen. So I'll be experimenting, and some stuff came out like it, some stuff didn't. But that's what growth is about.
Right. And the thing that really sticks out to me, about you that I saw just like on TikTok was the confidence. I always tell people you got to believe because if you don't believe it, then when you go to talk about it, that person's not going to believe you. So, your approach walking up to people, um, you've got a whole assortment of different cookies. Hey, I've been told that my cookies are the best in the South. I mean, so now people are starting to like, their ears are perking up. Best in the South, let me try it. I imagine that's what they're going for. And so then you bring out these cookies, they try them, they're loving them. Um, where does that confidence come from? Because there's a lot of people that can build a brand, build a business. But it's not easy to get out there and actually promote it. And not only promote it, but promoting it yourself. Sometimes people have other people doing it for them, which is cool. But for you, you're actually out there hitting the ground running. So where does that confidence come from?
Man, it comes from repetition. Like I've been doing it for a long time, so you know when you first start something, you might not be that good at it, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. So it comes from repetition. Like making cookies is like muscle memory to me at this point because I do it so much and I'm always looking for ways to improve. So I get feedback from whoever it may be, close friends, family, over the years. So that way I know what tastes good, what doesn't, what I should add, take out. So that's where the confidence comes from, getting the negative feedback from younger years to know what to fix. So that way, when I present a product to you, it's in the best form possible. So that's why I can say, I feel like I have the best cookies in the South. which I actually have been told, so it's not a lie me saying it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I come with that approach. And I always look for honest reviews. So if it doesn't taste good, they'll tell you. And I haven't had a bad review. Like I post anybody who accepts the review that I never get a bad review. In which I'm not saying I'm looking for one. Of course, I'm looking for all good because you know it's for video purposes and promotion. Because the thing too is hard. It's harder than people may think because
Right.
every person you ask is not going to say yes.
Right.
Because from a in today's world, it's a random person walking up to you with a box of cookies and a camera behind them, and you like, what's about to happen? You know, like it could, from their perspective, it might be poison, it might be, you know, a trick cookie, a prank, because nowadays prank culture is ridiculous. So you have people doing everything for views. So it gets tough to get people to actually try them because they see me and then they're like, no way he make cookies for whatever reason.
That kind of leads into the highs and the lows, and you kind of talked a little bit about it already. Just you know, the day and age that we're in, where people don't know exactly the intention, so maybe they clam up a bit. They're not sure if they want to try cookies. It's not something that they're accustomed to. So, what have been some of the highs and lows for you just with you know, creating your own business?
I would say the lows would be just getting started. Like when I first got started, having the clientele and the people being open minded to try it, that's probably the hardest part because you know when you first start a business, no one knows you. All they know is, of course, people who knew me already, they tried them, but in order to get new clientele, everyone is skeptical. They're like, "Oh,
Right.
we've never heard of this. This is out the blue." So the hardest part was getting people to try them and buy them, and you know, eventually, as you stay consistent and get over that little hump, you know, people start rolling in because somebody try them, they like them. Most times they'll tell other people about them, and so that'll roll out like that. So I'd say the hardest part was getting started because it's easy to, even if you're like 2, 3 months in and you don't see any growth per se, it can be tough on you because you like, you know, you want to see some type of progress,
Right.
but it's a work in progress because it's I've been doing it for a year and a half, going on probably a year and 9 months now soon. So it took a minute, but it's gradually growing.
And what kind of cookies do you offer?
Oh man, I do chocolate chip, red velvet, iced oatmeal, peanut butter, sugar, strawberry, snickerdoodle, and it's another one I'm missing. I think oatmeal raisin. And I do periodic flavors like limited time flavors. Like each month, I do like a limited time flavor. Like for June, I did lemon. For July, I did confetti. For August, I haven't dropped it yet. I'm gonna drop it. So I'm trying to, you know, keep it fresh.
You're being creative, and you know, I mentioned Walmart, but I've seen you out at other areas. So, what other areas have you tackled as far as walking up to people and promoting your cookies?
I've done. Let's see. I did the police station. I did. It was a grocery store or a parking lot. I try to use the reason I pick like Walmart and places like that is because it's generally it's just a variety of people, if that makes
Right.
sense. Because if you go to like a Dollar General or something like that, it's not many people in there. So Walmart is a pretty big pool of people, so you're bound to get at least a few people to try 'em. And now and nowadays too, they I don't know, it's more I feel like they'll be more comfortable and open in a store, you know, as opposed to just randomly approaching them at a gas station or something like that.
And I saw that you offer shipping, and I was surprised by that because I know a lot of people, and that's a good avenue for you. I know some people don't do it. And I was kind of following along how many different states that you've been able to send the product to. So, you don't have to list them all, but how many states are left before you hit all of them?
I think I have eight left. So I'm at 42, so I got eight left.
Eight
And
left. So
I really say seven because Alaska is like you know, it's not really attached to the other continental states, so it's not a big deal. But if I do hit Alaska, perfect, you know.
yeah. And did you set goals for yourself? Like, in the first 6 months, I want to do this, or the first year, like, were there any goals that you put maybe on a vision board or just told yourself, how long I'm gonna give myself to try and make this successful?
Yeah, I would say I started like day to day and week to week goals before I did the 6 month and the year. Like so I have a goal of say each day I want to sell a certain amount, or if I don't sell that, at least I'm putting content out towards it. So because it's different avenues for, I have the marketing side, then the customer relations, and then the baking itself. So I have certain goals for that. So I think I'm reaching my goals. So day to day, if I sell this amount, I scratch it off. If I go above it, that's perfect. And if I don't, then the previous day might compensate for that. So it's like something in businesses like this, it's it's gonna have its ups and downs.
The other thing is like the feedback. Um, like you were saying earlier, how you haven't heard, really anything negative about it. You use past experiences about, trying to help you put you where you're at today as far as like, negative feedback and things like that. But with you being a small business owner, um, how my first question is creativity, just trying to stay creative in such a lane where, like you said, people are just looking for views with pranks and stuff. And I'm not bashing that, you know what I mean? To each their own. But how hard is it to stay creative?
The creativity aspect of it is probably one of the toughest parts because when it comes to social media, people are always looking for something fresh and new. So something can be at the height of, everything today and tomorrow it's forgotten. So that's a tough aspect because with social media is ever changing and they always want to see something new, crazy, or like, just out of the way. But the way I view it is as long as I'm staying within my own lane and parameters, then because I'm only at competition with myself when it comes to creativity and stuff of that nature. So I can look look back on my old videos and see like, okay, this is what I was doing then. Did it look good? Sometimes I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? But it's all for it's all for the greater good. Seeing the people's reactions and you know, it's it warms my heart and it's humbling because you never know what to expect because everyone expresses how they like something in different ways. You have some people who are theatrical and you have some who are just, they just be like, it's good. That type of deal. But the ones who are theatrical always get the viral moments or like, those be the videos that take off because you never know who you're walking up on.
Have you been able to, because with a business like that, you might be able to reach somebody that you never even thought of. Maybe somebody just comes across it and they order 100 something cookies or something like that. So the power of social media is very, it's powerful and it's insane at the same time because you never know. So have you been able to run into anybody yet?
Not of that magnitude, but I have gotten a pretty decent amount of orders. Like in like 1 or 2 day, a 2 day span, I had like probably 50 orders come in at once. So it was like I said, it's great, So that's why I've slowed down on the reviews because I've been doing more so baking and getting the orders out, you know, because I don't want to be like, oh, we haven't received our orders, but he out here doing,
Right.
XYZ. So I always try to prioritize that. So once I get all the orders out, then that's when people start seeing the reviews come back. So
But you've got to go in the right way because yeah, people will love to try and bring you down or yeah, I haven't got my cookies yet. I see them on TikTok. So yeah, you're doing the right thing and doing a lot of great things. And the biggest reason why I wanted you on the podcast was just that positivity that you're walking around having a conversation with people, you're promoting something positive. Who doesn't love cookies? It seems like you have a cookie for everybody. Especially that iced oatmeal and that red velvet. But where can people find you? So if they want to get more information on the cookies, a website and social media.
okay, my Instagram is Steph's Cookies underscore. I have a business page on Facebook under Steph's Cookies, and I have my original Facebook page, Stephano Coffey, and on TikTok you can look up my name or Steph's Cookies, Stephano Coffee or Steph's Cookies, and you'll be able to find me on there. So, and let's see, the website stephscookies.com. Forgot about that.
DevsCookies.com.
Yes,
And
sir.
the last thing I had was I noticed catering too. So what all does that entail? The catering aspect.
The catering aspect, usually when it's an amount above 3 dozen, usually that's when it qualifies under the catering category because then, it doesn't fit in standard boxes and stuff of that nature. So, usually anybody ordering over 40 some cookies is for an event. So, special packaging and all this and that. So that's why I try to specify that. And it'll be updated to get it even more streamlined.
Okay. Well, a lot of great things. Steph, I appreciate you being on. Again, who doesn't love cookies? Variety, a positive message. You're doing great things and your business will take off, because you've got a good head on your shoulders and, you're already ready for, seems like the negativity, if it comes, I hope it doesn't. But yeah, you're doing great things, man. And thank you for being on.
Oh man, I appreciate you for having me, man.